Jujutsu Kaisen's latest episode just came out, and it blew people away. Now, if you're already watching this, you probably agree with me that Jujutsu Kaisen is a great anime, but I think by the end of this video, you'll struggle to disagree with me when I say that Jujutsu Kaisen is not just great, but might just be the perfect anime. Season 2 follows Gojo and Geto when they were just students in Jujutsu High, and throughout the first few episodes, they are supremely confident. They believe that they are the strongest, they say this multiple times, and they are convinced that nobody can beat them. But then they encounter and then it goes not well. Just when they thought they had succeeded, just when they thought they had gotten the girl there safely, she dies and they both get completely bodied by this random guy who is not just anyone. This is a guy who gambles away all his money, who is a deadbeat dad, who walks around in his pajamas and has zero cursed energy. This is like Michael Jordan getting outplayed by your friend's dad who is 5'2" and works out only by playing Wii Sports.
15 love.
Most shonen anime refuse to kill their characters no matter what happens. They can die in a big fiery explosion which literally blows them to pieces, and all they'll have to do is piece themselves together with the power of friendship, and then they're back, and all is good. In Jujutsu Kaisen, we're 4 episodes in, and 2 people have died, one of them getting a hole blown right through them, and the other one being one of the main characters that they were supposed to try and protect, that if this were another shonen, would never have died in that situation. Refusing to kill off characters is one of the biggest complaints of most shonen anime, but Jujutsu Kaisen has shown that they're not afraid to kill off certain characters, and that they will do it when it is most impactful. But not only that, in this same episode, we also saw another example of one of the biggest problems with shonen anime that Jujutsu Kaisen has fixed. One of the weirdest things in anime is when anime villains will explain their powers to their opponents for seemingly no reason. It makes no sense whatsoever, gives them no advantage, it puts them at a disadvantage because now their opponent has a better understanding of their abilities, can defeat them more easily. They always do it, and if they didn't, a lot of the time we wouldn't understand what was going on because we wouldn't understand their powers either. And so it's a bit of a dilemma that the manga writers have put into, where do you explain the powers? If so, it doesn't make sense, but at least we'll understand. But if you don't do it, that does make sense, but then the audience might not understand. Jujutsu Kaisen's come up with a great solution to this, in that you could have a pact in Jujutsu Kaisen where explaining your abilities, putting yourself at a disadvantage, actually makes you more powerful as a result. So now this adds an element of strategy to it. It now makes sense, it's now logical to explain your powers, which means we understand what's going on, and also means that we don't think, oh, that's ridiculous, why they explain their powers? Makes no sense. But it also means that there's strategy involved in, does the character choose to explain their powers? It would put them at a disadvantage, but it would give them more power. And does the other person allow them to explain their powers, or do they stop them? It solves this problem while also making the fight have more depth at the same time. So it's a really smart solution. Another mistake that a lot of shonen anime make is the power of friendship. In shonen anime, you can solve any problem with friendship. Always. If you want to save a girl, and she's your friend, she'll live. If you're not friends with her, she'll probably die. But in a shonen anime, anyone you are friends with cannot die. And no matter what happens, no matter how impossible the situation is, the power of friendship will always pull through.
I don't need a weapon. My friends are my power.
But in Jujutsu Kaisen, she dies, and Gojo almost dies as well. And the only way to win in Jujutsu Kaisen is clearly just to be ruthless, just to be more powerful, which is exactly what Gojo showed here. Jujutsu Kaisen has made it so the power of friendship isn't going to win your fights. In order to win, you have to be ruthless. And now for a bonus mistake that a lot of shonen anime make, is that the women are just kind of there. A lot of the time, women in shonen anime are not useful at all. They just get in the way, or they become hostages, or they're just completely and utterly useless and just cause problems. Sakura in Naruto is a great example of this. She was completely useless throughout most of the beginning of the anime. She got more useful later on, probably as a result of criticism of Sakura. But this is a mistake that a lot of shonen animes made, is that they've just made the women useless. Jujutsu Kaisen has not made this mistake. Jujutsu Kaisen has learned from its predecessors and actually made its female characters really useful. Nobara, Mei, Maki, they're all not just useful characters, but actually genuinely interesting characters with distinct personalities and different designs for each of them as well. This is something that not a lot of shonen anime used to do, and it definitely makes things more interesting. Jujutsu Kaisen doesn't just learn from its predecessors, but also has incredible points of its own. The directing this season's been fantastic. The shots go from eerie to beautiful, the fights are amazing, and the foreshadowing is really fantastic. A perfect example is Toji when he's been gambling. Whenever he gambles, he seems to be winning at first, and then just at the last minute, right when he's thought he's won, he loses. This perfectly mirrors his fight with Gojo, where he completely bodied Gojo, completely humbled him. And then Gojo comes back from the dead, high off his own power, and just destroys him. And that fight was unbelievable. I'm not a poet, so I can't really express what made that fight so good. But it just was. There have been a lot of people online saying the animation this season's not as good as season 1. And some people have been saying it's not as good. It's not good at all. Some people are just saying that the animation straight up is disappointing. These people are watching a different show. Jujutsu Kaisen takes everything Shonen does well and elevates it. The fights, the characters, the foreshadowing, it's all incredible. Season 1 took all of the elements of a good shonen and weeded out the unnecessary parts, but Season 2 has taken things to a whole new level. Season 2 doesn't just streamline shonen, but starts to rewrite the book on what a shonen should be. Amane dying is something you would never see in one of the major old shonens. You would just never see it. It's for all of these reasons that I say that Jujutsu Kaisen is the perfect shonen.